season record for passing touchdowns. Not only was it an Indiana single-season record, Mendoza has thrown more pass touchdowns this season than any other quarterback at any power conference schools, and he certainly hopes to add to that total coming up on New Year's Day at the Rose Bowl. For more with the Heisman Trophy winner, we take you back to L.A.
Rick, thank you so much, leading off Media Days with the man everybody wants to talk to, Fernando Mendoza, the first Heisman winner in the history of Indiana football. Congratulations. It is awesome to see you, and it has been so special to see what this team has been able to do this year. What's it like to be you right now, Fernando?
Yeah, first of all, thank you guys for having me on. It's always good to see all these familiar faces here. These past couple of weeks have meant so much to myself, my team, my family, and friends, and I think it's all culminated to the opportunity of being able to play in the Rose Bowl. A magical venue, a magical opportunity against a great SEC opponent. I think it's all culminated together. Our hard work throughout the season, throughout the offseason, it's all coming together. It's just a special moment for all of us.
I just have to tell you, it's a little bit surreal, and I'm laughing right now because I first met you maybe 3.5 years ago. You were sitting third or fourth on the depth chart at Cal, and I talked to you after a spring practice, and I was like, man, what a wonderful young man. I hope he gets to play at some point. And to watch what you've done is phenomenal. What has been the thing that has allowed you guys to have the season that you are having this year?
Yeah, like you said, 3 years ago, I've came a long way from there, from then, and I would say the Indiana football team has also came a long way from week 1 to all the way to now. I think this is game 14. And I think we've been growing and have that never-ending sense of wanting to get better every single game. Coach Cignetti always harps on killing the complacency. And that's one thing I think that we've been able to improve every game. Our whole game is not about the wins and losses. It's about let's make sure we get better every game and play better football, higher quality football, and more complementary football with each other every single game. And that's how I think that we've been able to improve so much throughout this season.
Okay, so let's talk about your team this season. We were together in New York City. It was an epic moment. You go into the ballroom, and it's mosh pit style. They jump all over you. And I just, on the flight home, I'm thinking, this team is getting even tighter. I'm curious, from that moment up until the most recent practice, like, is that true? How has this team grown together if that was a moment for your entire program?
Yeah, I would say the New York trip in itself was a huge moment for a lot of the guys, being able to go out to New York. It was definitely a core memory.
Yes,
because not only was it great for for myself, for our team, get the award and everything. However, it was such a fun time with the guys through the day and through the night. It was just it was a great boys trip. It was a great boys trip, and it's a trip we'll all remember for our whole entire lives.
Yeah, well, I think I could say for all of my former Indiana teammates that I played with, the core memories that you guys have created for this program and for this university have been endless at this point. Kind of like Ashley was mentioning, our journey meeting each other, about 8 months ago was a little bit more condensed. Yeah. I'd be curious, where have you noticed the most growth in yourself from arriving in Indiana, getting coached by Coach Sig, Coach Shanahan, Coach Whitmer, to where we sit right now?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing that I pride myself on is growing and learning. Like we talked about meeting, Mrs. Adamson 3 years ago, so much improvement, and there's been just a long journey since then. And even 8 months ago, through the spring game, it was a very raw product. Yeah. And I would say it's just the coaching from Coach Shanahan, Coach Whitmer, and all the coaches throughout the entire staff that have really dove into myself and really poured all they have into me to be able to increase my footwork, my timing, and just understanding of defense and the real aspect of football, of playing football the right way, the efficient way, and then also whatever suits myself and my play style best. Not going out there and playing like Superman, being efficient with the ball and being the point guard for my team so I could dish it to the running back, dish it to the receiver or the tight end in order to move the chains and get our team down the field.
Well said.
I just want to know that you guys are going to have to start calling me Mrs. Adamson.
You know what?
I'm sorry about that.
My grandmother is smiling somewhere, Fernando. I love it. And I really do. I love what you said about New York being a great boys trip and a core memory, because I think that is the thing that's important to remember here is you guys are doing something that no Indiana team has ever done before. And I also think there's one team at the end of the year that fully feels satisfied and happy.
Sure.
How do you have that laser focus, and again, no complacency and that edge that Curt Cignetti is so wonderful at helping create, but also being able to live in the moment, because this is a time that you are going to look back on in your life for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, I think a message that we've all encompassed is pressure is a privilege. like although that we, we're the number 1 seed in the college football playoff, and we have all these high expectations. It's the first time Indiana's ever done this. At the same time, we're grateful, and we want this opportunity. This is what we've been working for the entire offseason. And it's not like we're here to go defend something. It's like we don't have, this win against the Rose Bowl. We don't have the national championship. We don't have the semifinal win yet. We don't have the Rose Bowl, trophy, or we don't have roses in our mouth yet. We got to go get it. We got to go take it. And especially against such a great team like Alabama, an SEC juggernaut, we got to go take it. And we're very blessed and honored for the opportunity. However, at this point, it's, like you said, it's something we're going to remember for the rest of our lives. And although the New York boys trips was a blast and insane, I will say that we've all been working very diligently, because we've all worked our entire lives for this moment and this opportunity. As little kids, we dreamed about this, and as older men, we'll remember this.
It's a good point about older men. You're the most veteran-laden team remaining in the CFP. You got 19 starters who are upperclassmen, Fernando. Wow. You, of course, being one of them. With that said, it's been 26 days. So take us inside, no complacency, over the course of time from your final game in the Big Ten title to where we sit today.
Yeah, I would say that it's been a long journey since then. 26 days, especially playing within a football game. Usually it's a bye week. And the only thing that I can compare that to is the anticipation of fall camp, when you're in there every single day and you're really working towards that first game. We didn't know who our opponent was going to be, but we studied both teams, and I think that Coach Cignetti has really seen it as a little bit of a new season, where we had a couple bye weeks where we're working out, we're getting stronger, and then a lot of these practices up to this have been really intense and really focused, in order that we're going to put our best foot forward and peak at the right time, especially being a month off. And I would say the Big Ten Championship, it's great. However, it's passive at this point. No one's patting themselves on the back anymore. And I think also a plus about having the month off is, the Big Ten Championship, we've had time to sink and be satisfied about it. Yeah. And although we're never satisfied, we've had time to turn the page. And now we're ready for the new book and the new chapter, which can be the round 2 of the college football playoff.
Fernando, you talked about Curt Cignetti's message, your coach, of killing complacency, right? Yeah. He's been on the hunt for complacency, since the winter, right? Since last season ended, since you arrived, right? You kind of probably got into that. How would you describe the way he goes about kind of instilling his message into the team in a way in which it really resonates with you guys? You can grasp onto it. I know he's got the scowl, right, that he'll kind of go up and down the sideline with. How would you describe the way that he kind of gets his message across to you guys?
I would say that he's very calculated with what he says, and I also say that it trickles down through the coaches. Yeah. Coach Cignetti is a fantastic coach. However, he's able to essentially push his other coaches, the assistant coaches and the GAs and everybody, for no one to allow complacency.
Right.
And so, from one man and one coach, it's going to be tough to impact. You can, but it's going to be tough to impact every single player on the team. But when you have that trickle-down effect, it really instills and really injects the zero complacency effect in the Indiana football team.
Yeah.
Fernando, it is wonderful to spend time with you. I know there are a lot of people in this room who are waiting to get a chance to talk with you, so we'll let you go on your way to the rest of Media Days, but we are so excited to see you on New Year's Day, and congratulations on all the success.
Thank you so much. God bless. Thank you guys for having me on again.
Yeah.
All right. Rick, thank you so much. Here with the man of the hour, man of the year, Curt Cignetti. Coach, it is great to see you. I know this is a business trip for you. I know all this media stuff is not what you love to do, but tell me what it has been like this season and how you have turned the page from having 3 weeks off from that Big Ten championship.
Right, yeah. Well, obviously you're right. The focus is on the playoff game. And, everything we've done in the past has gotten us to this point. And the most important thing is we have a great day today. And have great preparation between now and kickoff, put it on the field against a great opponent. So, there have been a lot of highlights that have been well documented in our season, particularly going on the road and getting some big victories and, great team wins and the quarterback playing really well in the final 4 minutes of the game and winning a big trophy. And a lot of guys, awards, undefeated, Big Ten championship, those kind of things. So, great win to finish the year. And then you got about 2.5 weeks, right? And everybody's wearing a lot of different hats. You're looking at your 26 team coaches, player retention, evaluating portal, looking at, and then you're getting a lot of weight room work in with your team, rest recovering, but getting some practice in. But once we knew who the opponent was, The next day for the coaches was a Sunday. The next day for the players was a Monday. I had to reset, recalibrate kind of the team mindset because they've been getting a lot of smoke blown up, or you know what, for 2.5 weeks, right?
Not from us.
No.
I promise.
And I think I think we've done a pretty good job. I wasn't real pleased with yesterday, which, normally is a travel day, Friday walkthrough, but it was a Wednesday practice. But, we'll come out here, we'll get good work, and let's go play.
You've been hunting for complacency since you arrived.
Well,
probably.
I think you have to, and
Yeah.
I did learn that somewhere. And when you're successful all the time, you got to maintain the edge, and that's not normal. But up to this point, we've met every challenge because we prepare the right way. That's why we've met every challenge, because we prepare the right way. We stay humble and hungry. We control the controllables and stay focused on the here and now.
Okay, lot to digest in that regard, Coach. You've been around football your whole life, right? We talked many times about your Hall of Fame coach as a father, your brother. You've been in this for a while, and when I watch you, I'm like, this is a true CEO that knows all the buttons to push. When you look at all the at-bats you've had, coaching, leading as a head coach since the IUP job to now, how much do you lean on just like your instinct being, okay, this is what I have to do right now for this team in this moment?
A ton. Because you learn, right? You learn from your mistakes, or you better, or you ain't going to be around very long, right? And what works, what hadn't, and you're always looking to improve. You're no different than the players every single day. You're trying to improve your processes and methods, and it takes, organization, smart work, right, efficiency, and you got to be prepared for everything that can come up in the football game, whether it's 2-minute, 1-minute last play, when to call timeout, etc. Go for it on fourth, those kind of things. So, I think that's my job, to manage the game. And every once in a while, I'll interject something with Mike. I pretty much leave Bryant alone. Some critical moments, maybe I'll, pat him on the butt and say, relax, big boy. But that's about it.
Like
or once in a while, I will say, come after their ass.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I think we all know here that there are really good players, right? They're going to be wearing the cream and crimson on that field at the Rose Bowl. But to my eye, your group plays as a team better than anybody that I've seen. What are some of the hallmarks of this group and the way that they have come together as a cohesive unit to play together as a team to kind of raise their level of play as individuals?
Well, I think last year's group did too,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. And I think one of the biggest jobs of the leader is to get everybody to think alike. And especially once you enter the season, play that first game, and then build on that throughout. And, it's easy to kind of build and grow off success. Then you just stock complacency. But when you do have a setback, you got to learn from it, move on, and get everybody on the same page. This team has not had to do that yet. And I think, obviously, we added some good pieces.
Yeah.
We brought back a nice core.
Yes.
Added some good pieces with high character. And the new guys did a good job of meshing with the guys that were on the team in 24. And then, Illinois was a big game. They were 9th in the country at home. We met that challenge. Iowa was a big game. Tough to go there and win at the end like we did. That helped us. Go to Oregon, obviously, big step. And then the Penn State game, the way we came back and won that, that was something I learned about my team that day. And then the Ohio State game, and now we've got to meet this challenge against a great football team.
Coach, you know this football program well that you're going up against. You mentioned that you learned how to hunt complacency somewhere. I'm wondering if you're alluding to your time with Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa. You've talked about how important that has been to your development and who you are. You kind of think about that time in your career almost every day. What stands out to you when you look at Alabama and how Kalen DeBoer has structured them now? What stands out most to you about this
Alabama.
team?
About the current Alabama team? It's hard to replace a legend, number one. And, the rules have changed quite a bit. And he's an outstanding football coach. What stands out to me is some of the big wins they've had, right? I'm sure they've had a setback or two more than he would like to have had in 2 years. But I think he's done a tremendous job putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Schematically, they present a lot of challenges on both sides of the football. And they're only going to get better and better under his leadership. He's a great football coach.
You've been at the Rose Bowl before. You won a big ring in the stadium you're going to play on New Year's Day. How have you talked to your team about what the Rose Bowl is? I mean, it is the granddaddy. It is a grand thing that they have yet to see. And are you navigating just the next game versus embracing, hey, this is a huge game?
Yeah. Well, football's changed a lot. Yeah. And we're playing a playoff game in the Rose Bowl.
There you go.
That's ultimately what it means. And that's kind of what your quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, has been talking about as well, is he's trying to filter your message, right, through the rest of the team as a leader, on the hunt for complacency, keeping the main thing the main thing. Where have you noticed the growth in Fernando as a player, as a leader, from the time you got your hands on him to the time that we're talking to him here today?
Well, I think as he developed on the field and in the games as well, and had more and more success, and the guys saw that, he was much more comfortable now being himself and maybe asserting himself when he needed to. Right. He's not a rah-rah guy. He's not a guy that's going to get up in front of the whole team. He's not verbal on the field. Right. He's thinking about what he's got to do. But I think now he's playing with more confidence. He's more relaxed. And then, he's not afraid to direct the receiver, hey, on this, flatten this one a little bit more, or here's what I'm looking at, right? Yeah. And so he does his job, and he does it well.
On that front, how do you expect him and this offense to try to attack this Alabama defense? What are some of the things you're looking for on that front?
We've always been very balanced. I mean, you got to be able to throw it. You got to be able to run it. You got to be good on third down. You got to score touchdowns in the red area. And, every team presents its set of issues, and Alabama's no different.
Coach, what's been the most fun you've had this year?
The most fun you've had this year? Right now?
Talking
right
to you
now?
guys.
I knew you were. I could feel it. I knew.
We tried to get a recliner in here, but it just didn't,
I was hoping
didn't make the
that
trip.
would be the answer. I'm happy to see that smile. It has been great to catch up with you, and watching your team has been phenomenal. Best of luck on New Year's Day. We'll
Thank
see
you very much.
Thanks, Coach.
Pasadena.
Everything we do, the details. That's a good one right there. Omar Cooper is just explosiveness.
And do you have a New Year's resolution?
No shopping in January.
Okay, we all need to adopt. Okay, I'm inspired. Thank you for that one. Appreciate you.
Yeah, have a good one.
Elijah, have you been able to reflect at all, like with the JMU guys? Like 2 years ago, you're playing at a G5 school, and then here you are at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, honestly, not too much, just because we've been so in the moment going on. But not too long ago, me and the JMU guys were just in the locker room talking. We're like, man, it's crazy. Just next year was, I think, I don't know how many are going to be left, like maybe one or two at the most. So it's crazy just seeing us all here right now and where we came from before. But we haven't really sat down and reflected too much yet.
What would you say to your 10-year-old self, knowing that you're playing in the college football playoff, chance to move on to the semis, and especially with the Rose Bowl?
Man, you're close. The dreams that you're dreaming, the things that you're wishing, they're going to come true soon. Just stay true to yourself and continue to keep on working.
If you look at the season, what's your favorite part?
That's a good question. Favorite part, of course, win is always my favorite part. But some of those road wins, like going on Iowa, going to Oregon, those are super fun. I always love playing in away territories, just that hostile environment. So those moments were probably my most favorite so far.
Can you talk about Cignetti's influence in turning this program into a winning program?
Yeah, he comes to work every single day and he demands excellence out of us. He talks to us every day about eliminating the clutter, staying focused, and just stacking day by day. And we really believe what he says, and he stays true to what he says. He's a great coach and he's a great leader, man.
Is there one story that stands out of the season where you found, including on Cignetti, they just made you step into like, oh man, this is real?
I've always known it was real. Since my first time meeting him at JMU, I just understood what he was about and that he was about his business. So just seeing how he operates through his daily processes, like it's real. He's coming to work every single day, so I got to come to work every single day.
Thanks,
yes, sir. Have a good one.
would you say is your why? Like, what is the thing that drives you to perform at the highest level?
My family, 100%. FTF is something I got tatted on me. It means for the family, and everything I do is for them. Without them, I want to be able to be here. I want to be able to buy a house for my family eventually, God willing. So they're my rock, and everything I do is through them.
When it's kind of an unconventional league, what goes in, like, kind of the mental preparation when you're here a lot earlier, the times and everything, obviously all the meetings.
Yeah, we understand we're going to have a bunch of extracurriculars and stuff, but we know the main goal. We're not treating it like a bowl game, we're treating it like a playoff game, which it is. So we want to just continue to stack days. We're trying to keep it as regular as we can through a game week. So just have great days leading up to that game. That's all it is.
Thank you. Here with the heartbeat of the Indiana defense and Aiden Fisher. Aiden, it is great to see you. Congratulations. I got to tell you, in looking at you, the last time I saw you was on the field after the Big Ten championship game. You looked like you had played harder than you had ever played in your life. And I know you always leave it on the field, but did you find a different level in that game against Ohio State?
I didn't take anything home from that game. I'll say that. I don't think I've ever been so tired in a game, especially at the end. But I think, that's for every player we had, just kind of left everything they had out there. And we said that pregame, it was going to take all the blood you got, all the tears you got, the sweat. For the linebackers, we were kind of joking around about it, and it was leave here with blood on something, because that's how you know you left everything out here. So, that game was special to be a part of, and, I didn't take anything home from it.
It was incredible to watch. I'm curious how you guys have now turned the page, right? That's the big question is now after this extended layoff and after all the success, how do you flip the script and move forward to make sure that you guys are laser focused for what's at hand?
Yeah, I think for us, it was coming off of that, quickly. It was something to be, proud of, especially to be a part of, but it's something that we want to move on from quickly. All of us just want to keep playing football. So at the end of the day, it's a one-game season, survive and advance. I think we all know that, and that's in the back of our minds, daily. So our preparation's at an all-time high right now. Nobody wants this to be the end of our season, so it's just preparing that way and making sure that it's not the end of our season. We have a great challenge at our hands with Alabama, but I think our preparation has been great. We'll be ready for it.
I'd imagine there's going to be a couple people in the stands ready for it as well. You often talk about why you wear number 4. Your mom, your siblings. First time we met, I don't know if they made it to the game. They had like a T-Swift concert they were going to, right?
That's a little more important than me.
I'd imagine they're all I imagine they're all making their way out to the Rose Bowl.
Oh yeah, they're already here.
Yeah, nice.
I know today I think they're out. Viewing whatever they're viewing, some Hollywood stuff. Yeah. Sisters like movies and stuff. So,
great.
They'll have more fun. I'll have my preparation, and then we'll celebrate after, hopefully. So, it is special to have them out here, though. My mom, my stepdad. I think I have a total of 12 people out here. Hometown friends that are flying out. So, special experience that they're going to have, and I'm happy they're here.
They are your support system, right, at home. I feel like on this defense, you've got a couple of guys that often flank you in 3 linebacker settings, and Elijah Hardy and Isaiah Jones that kind of provide that same feeling for you. Yet, Isaiah was here, Elijah was young and coming in when you got to IU. How have you kind of helped shepherd their growth, and where have you noticed that growth in them?
Those two are just really special football players. Yeah. Going through the spring, those guys were out, getting extra work with me at every chance they got, and that's when I kind of knew. We had 2 guys that were going to grow into their own, guys that wanted it as bad as I do. And then once we got to, spring ball and fall camp, you see flashes. And, sometimes you're just like man, that was pretty good. Now we're seeing flashes in, big games. So those guys have really come into their own, really special football players, and they've stepped up as special leaders for our football team. Obviously, people go down. I missed a game or 2, and they did a phenomenal job stepping in, playing at a high level, at big-time football.
Yeah, no question.
It sounds like they're giving us the yank here.
We keep.
We'll keep rolling. I'll ask you one more thing. Just in terms of being able to look at where you have come from and where you are and what you stand on the precipice of being able to do and continue to do. What's been the biggest thing on your journey as you've looked at just you personally, how you've been able to evolve and develop into both the player and the man that you are?
Yeah, my mom tries to get me to do this a lot, just kind of sit down and reflect. For me, I think the best decision that I've made in my life was coming to Indiana. Obviously, football's been great. I've loved it. But I think I've really learned who I am as a person and as a man of faith, as a leader. being at Indiana, and it's a decision that I'll never look back on. And I've had Coach Sig, I've had great, great teammates. And obviously my family has been a huge part of it, but just being able to kind of flourish as an individual, and then being, how do I learn how to be a better brother, a better son, a better friend, anything that, I've been asked to do. I think Indiana has taught me, and, it's been special and, something that I don't take for granted. And obviously I love Bloomington. I love being in Indiana, and it's just been special every step of the way.
Okay, so game day is going to be special too because you're facing a true blue blood in the history of college football, 18 national championships. This offense has finally gotten going for Alabama. You look at how they finished the first half against OU and then, of course, the second half. What are some keys to this defense that you have to slow down this powerful offense?
Yeah, consistency for us is stopping the run. That's number one. We're going against a team that is explosive with, phenomenal receivers and a really good quarterback that, can extend plays. He can run the ball. He can sit in the pocket and take hits and still deliver it down the field. Obviously a really good O-line that's big and physical. So we have a lot of challenges on our hands. There's a lot of things that I think our preparation has kind of, shored up for us. But I think our biggest thing is just being us. We do a lot of stuff on defense. We're very multiple. Coverage-wise, personnel-wise, like we can throw a lot at you. But it just starts with us and our details and, how we approach things. And I think, our preparation has been great. And I think that it's something that we need to just keep building on. And being out here earlier, we have a practice today, walk through tomorrow, be ready to go. And I think that helps us. We didn't waste a day on travel. We were up at 8 a.m. practicing. Yep. So I think it's just all about being us, being confident in what we do, and, just playing fast. I think that's the name of the game is playing fast and, hitting people when you see them and, being physical and winning at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. When in doubt, the Coach Sig scowl will keep you focused.
Exactly.
Right?
I will tell you, I've been doing this a long time. That answer that you had about the reflection of how you've developed and you've become is one of the best that I have ever heard. So that is why moms ask us to stop and reflect. So go
Thank you, Mom. She's prepared before.
Thank you, Mom. All right. And best of luck on Wednesday. We're excited to watch you guys. Rick? A little bit about what you do in terms of what he can do in calling the defense. You can shut down an entire side of the field. I want to talk about the X's and O's in a little bit. But can we talk about these fits? Like, you guys look sharp in these Rose Bowl whites. Like, can you just give us a little – yeah, show us what you got.
I like the all white, but at the same time, I'm just scared I'm going to get it dirty. One little spill and it's all ruined. So
you're looking sharp and clean right now. What has this experience? I know you guys are just getting in town, but what has this experience been like so far?
It's a great experience, once in a lifetime experience. Just taking it all in. It's just a blessing to be here, so it's a great experience.
When you look at what you guys have against Alabama on New Year's Day, what is going to be the biggest key? What stands out when you watch Ty Simpson and those receivers on tape?
I think the biggest thing for us is stopping the pass. They're going to pass. They're going to put the ball in the air a lot. There's a lot of pressure going to be on the cornerbacks and the safeties. I feel like just stopping the pass is going to be the main thing for us.
Yeah, and you're a huge part of that. A huge part of you, though, it seems like, is this competitive spirit. I read that you haven't allowed anybody to catch a ball in a walkthrough. Like, is that true since you showed up on campus?
Honestly, it might be true. I haven't really looked into that, but yeah, that's the thing about me. I'm gonna compete every day. Everything I do is trying to get better. So yeah.
Well, I mean, look, you've got the All-American status. You've got the All-Big Ten status. You've got all that out there for you. People know who you are. I think everyone's kind of getting to know your counterpart on the other side a little bit as well, Jamari Sharp. How have you kind of influenced his growth? Because he was here before you got here, and you guys together have been pretty dang good back there at the corner spots.
Yeah, I have influenced him a lot. Honestly, I knew him since middle school. We went to the same middle school, so same hometown and everything. But he looks up to me, and I help him whatever he needs. I know the scheme in and out, so I help him with that as well.
Well, you guys were on the flight together, the Fernando Christmas flight to get home to see your family quickly and then get back for prep. What was that experience like?
It was a great experience. My first private flight.
Let's go.
We were talking the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a great experience overall. Just to experience that, and it's a life-changing experience as well.
That's neat.
It's a life-changing experience to do what you guys have done at a program that has never been able to do what you guys are doing. I know you are laser-focused on the moment and the task at hand and winning the Rose Bowl, but at what moments during the season have you allowed yourself to lift your head up and kind of look around? Have you?
Honestly, I really haven't. Just being so locked in on the season. I feel like after the season, that's when I will take the time and just to take it all in and know how legendary this season will be. So, yeah.
Legendary indeed. Before we cut you loose here, I'm just kind of curious overall, when you look at this team's path, you've had 26 days off by the time you kick this thing off. But like yourself, you're one of the veterans, one of the 19 starters who are upperclassmen. How have you, as a player, made sure this team is not losing the edge that you've curated the last 2 seasons?
Well, honestly, this team, we handled it very well. I feel like we haven't even been off. We had like 4 days off the whole time. We've been practicing the whole time. A lot of good on good, a lot of ones-on-ones and stuff like that. So it honestly don't feel like we had time off. So yeah.
I like that. Other than the PJ. Like,
That's right.
Other than the PJ.
Christmas break and then back to it.
I like it.
D'Angelo Pons, thanks so much for the time. Best of luck. Congratulations on a terrific season, and we'll see you on New Year's Day.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Coach Haines, first and foremost, congratulations on the 3-year contract extension. That was like a major Merry Christmas present for Hoosier fans. Excited to see you staying in Bloomington. There has been so much that has been made about what you guys have been able to do, right? We're running out of ways to talk about all the superlatives and all the history and all the records that you've been able to break. For you, when you look at when you got here 2 years ago to where you guys stand right now, what has been the single biggest thing that's allowed you to be where you are about to play in the Rose Bowl?
I think it's been buy-in. I think it's been buy-in from when I first got to Bloomington, just getting a team that maybe hadn't had as much success as obviously we're having now. But how do you get them to believe that they can do that? How do you get a team, a defense, any side of the ball to believe that they're capable of winning a conference championship and going to the Rose Bowl? And it starts with a day-to-day process that Coach Cignetti lays out for us. And then obviously everybody's just being in alignment with that. So one day at a time, one day at a time.
I do want to ask you because, you've had opportunities to go other places and for you to commit and decide to stay here with Coach Cignetti, who you've been with for a very long time. As you looked and evaluated the process of making that decision, why did you decide that Indiana is the right place for you and your family right now?
Yeah, I don't have a burning desire to be a head coach. Not that I'm not willing to look at options, but that's not a burning desire of mine at the moment. And then we have a really good thing going. It's kind of like leaving a great situation for what? The grass is not always greener. I mentioned this to guys that are potentially going to go into the transfer portal. Are you happy where you're at? And if the answer to that question is yes, then where are you going to go?
Yeah. I love how you have continually referenced everybody has their one job, and then the 11 come together. You guys play as good a team football, team defense, I think anybody in America. Talk about the buy-in. How has the buy-in continually grown, especially with this loss of Stephen Daly advancing into this Rose Bowl for this defense?
Yeah, I mean, we're a team defense. I think somebody said that the sum of the parts is greater than the whole, which I think is a great way of looking at it because a team that plays together strengthens the individual efforts, if that makes sense. And I always go back to doing your 111th, doing your job, as Coach Cignetti would say. If we're all able to complete our individual job descriptions, then the whole thing comes together. So belief in one another, full understanding of the job descriptions and the concepts that we're putting out there, and then let the guys play fast. I mean, as a defensive staff, and I'm so blessed to have an awesome defensive staff, but let your guys play fast, let them play with confidence and conviction, and second and third level guys will fix it. They'll make it right.
Well, I think it's such a great case of understanding how to build a team and build a defense with, you've got foundational pieces at every level, right? We talk about Mikhail Kamara. We talk about Aiden Fisher, D'Angelo Pons, right? First, second level, back level. But you've also influenced the development of guys that were already here when you arrived. Guys like Isaiah Jones, Amari Farrell, who are big-time contributors on this team. How has that development piece really guided, the strength overall of this defense that you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, development. Coach Cignetti's always been a big developmental guy, and it's the way that he builds the team. Like you mentioned, he's a defensive line guy first. Like he wants the front. He wants to win the line of scrimmage. I mean, he's a tough old ball coach from Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? So win the line of scrimmage first. So we're always going to have a great D line, and I think it always starts there. Development, to me, that goes back to our strength and conditioning program, and then positional coaches. Yeah. Like what do you spend the offseason doing? How can you start working on completing those job descriptions and techniques in the offseason? Take it into fall camp, and at this part of the season, we're so well versed in those techniques, and when you're playing with great technique, the scheme just fits around that really. Yeah.
You make it sound so easy, and yet every time I talk to your players, you do make it look easy, and you make it easy for your players. I think that's what every great teacher does. But when I talk to your guys, they say that one of the things that the reason that you are so successful as a defensive coordinator is because you know your players and you put them in position to succeed. I'm curious for you how much knowing your players is their ability on the football field as well as knowing them as human beings.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Probably more knowing their skill sets on the football field than their personal nuances. But I know those too. How confident is this corner going to be in this one-on-one situation? You know what I mean? Maybe it's different between D'Angelo Pons and somebody else. Try to keep them out of harm's way, you know. And to be honest, like, be honest with yourself. Like, each one of our players, even the All-Americans, have some deficiencies. Why put them in a spot where they maybe can't complete that job description? I'm not going to ask Aiden Fisher to defend number 17 in the slot.
Yeah.
Like, why would I do that? I don't want to put him in peril that way. So,
although he did track Jeremiah Smith down all the way across the field in the Big Ten championship game for what was a TFL.
Yeah,
so,
he can run.
Yeah.
He can run. That was a good play by him.
Yeah.
And Ro Hardy had another good one like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we have a very capable roster. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But put them in spots where they can most have success, no question.
Okay, so let's talk about some of those spots in this game, and I'd love to get inside the mind of you in the rain. You're going to play an Alabama team that seemingly loves to throw the football. They have weapons, to your earlier point. Does the weather impact how you call this thing, and how do you think your team matches up against what they've had most success doing in the air?
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't really know, like, how well do their receivers catch the ball in the rain? How well does Ty Simpson operate in the rain? You know, I'm not really sure yet. I think it could have some impact. I think I'm going to have a better answer to that question probably after the first quarter when I realize, like, how much are they affected by this?
Right.
And then I think I might try to adjust off of that.
Looking at D'Angelo Pons, obviously he's been one of the best corners in the nation, right, over the last couple of years, even you know, his true freshman year. What does it do for you as a play caller to have a guy who can shut down and can go one-on-one with maybe the best player in college football in Jeremiah Smith that we talked about, did it a couple of times in the Big Ten championship game? What does that flexibility look like for you?
Yeah, it's to be honest, it's one of the hidden secrets of our defense, because if he's able to eliminate one side of the field, then I can flood the numbers to the other side. So we go back to, like, speaking about making job descriptions maybe easier for one person relative to another. I have to put a lot of the weight of our defensive schematics on number 5. So he'll mainly be over to the boundary, and if he can shut that side of the field, which he typically does, if he shuts it down like he typically does, I mean, I'll flood numbers to the field, and a lot of our interceptions actually end up over there to the field side.
Wow.
Coach, thank you so much for the time. I will say, as we say goodbye, because I know there's a lot of people that want to talk to you still, we haven't even brought up, like, the true secret sauce to Indiana's success this year. They are undefeated since Grace has been born, your 6-month-old daughter. So Gracie Bear, the secret sauce. I'm just going to go on the record and say that. All right, Coach, congratulations and best of luck on New Year's Day. Rick?
A couple of days away from kicking off the granddaddy of them all. You were a player at Pitt. You've obviously been with Coach Cignetti through the last couple of stops he's been, now here at Indiana. Like, what was your view of the Rose Bowl? Like, how did you kind of assess it as a fan of college football? And has that kind of re-entered your mind as you're getting ready to sit out here and call plays in it?
The Rose Bowl was always something I made a point to watch every single year growing up. Just all the game. I can remember some key plays and moments throughout the years, but just the setting and the backdrop and the competition, the product that's on the field, it was always something I wanted to watch and be a part of. And haven't put too much thought into it until just now, but obviously very fortunate. Feel very, very lucky to be here with this group of guys, these coaches, the players. Looking forward to putting our best foot forward out there in a couple of days and see where it goes. But I know it's going to be an exciting thing for us.
Yeah, well, no question you've had bigger things on your agenda, which is getting your receivers ready, getting Fernando and this offense ready to go. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that receiver development. Obviously, we've all known about Elijah Sarratt, Omar Cooper coming into his own these last 2 years. E.J. Williams, was a big contributor. Now Charlie Becker enters the fray as well. How have you kind of developed that depth and playmaking ability within this wide receiver group?
We'll definitely give a lot of credit to those guys for putting the work in. Obviously, they have the talent to do it. And what I try to do as we go throughout the year, we obviously spend a lot of the time on the technical things in camp. But then once we get into the season, it's teaching them, scheme, how to attack the defenses that we're seeing, but also instilling confidence in those guys that, hey, they belong there. We got confidence in you to make plays. And after they get that little taste of it, again, credit to them for keeping their head down, continue to work. But then also I feel like just the confidence rises and they're able to really go out there and be effective.
Well, I'm sure you've got confidence anytime you need to call that back shoulder. If Elijah Sarratt's out there, if any of the guys are out there. But that's a lot of work that goes into the timing on a play like that, on a route like that he's scored on from the slot against Ohio State and other times this year. What are some of the things in the work that goes into perfecting a play in a route like that?
It all starts in practice. That's something that we make an emphasis to at least get a couple of those throughout the week. We get them against our defense, dating all the way back to spring ball. So the accumulation of reps has really helped. And then, Fernando does a really good job of just letting those guys get their hands on it, whether it's a little bit underthrown, whether it's a back shoulder, whether it's over the top, like we saw with Charlie a couple weeks ago. I feel like he just does a really good job of putting it in a place where they can make a play. And from there, it's our job to do that. So developing the chemistry, and I know those guys put a ton of time in throughout the summer, and probably even times whenever I don't see it when we walked off the practice field. So it's something that we know that it's hard to defend. If we can get really good at it, it's going to be a big advantage to us throughout the year, so we invest the time.
Lastly here, real quick, how much fun has it been to call plays with a quarterback like Fernando Mendoza?
Makes my job a whole lot easier, that's for sure. It's been great. I mean, he does such a great job in so many aspects, so it's been awesome.
Mike, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a great question. Like you said, there's 8 teams left, and what a blessed opportunity. I can't thank God enough for this opportunity. However, we really got to focus on running the Rose Bowl first. Alabama is such a great team, and although it's number 1 against, I believe, number 9th or 8th seed, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but it's such a great team. And last year we saw that all the teams that had byes, they all lost. And so we're really going to take this opportunity day by day. And the national championship is the ultimate goal. I think any team would lie to you if they said it wasn't the ultimate goal, at the beginning of the season. And everybody has, a little bit of, I would say, a little futuristic vision where, we wanted the national championship. However, the Rose Bowl is so important to us. Having the opportunity to play Alabama, an opportunity to rise to the occasion of, the Rose Bowl, which I believe is one of the best venues in sports. It's just a great opportunity for us.
Fernando, when
lost last year.
Yep.
Have you guys put any thought into why that was the case? If there was something about that layoff that caused that?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't in those locker rooms and wasn't in those, programs, so I can't tell you. However, it is definitely an interesting statistic that all teams with the bye lost. And so I think that's, if anything, that's motivated us a little more to not take the complacency. Cool, we won the Big Ten Championship, page behind us. We really got to peak at the right time. The Big Ten Championship was amazing, great for IU fans, great for IU football history. However, we want to make sure that we're peaking at this moment in the Rose Bowl and then through the college football playoff.
Is there anything you guys did to make sure there wasn't any complacency that's different or unique to this process?
I would say, although there's been a lot of attention throughout the entire program, there's really been no egos, and it's really been, I would say, a little bit of the crushing of egos, if in sense, like we've all held each other really accountable. We've held each other really accountable. We all realize, hey, right now is not the time to slack off. We've dreamed our entire lives for this moment since kids, and also as older men, we're going to realize and look back at this moment. So this is a moment that really, really counts in our college football careers. So let's make the most of it.
Or are you just laser focused on this? How do you process this?
Yeah, I would say there's a couple of things, and I think having the month off is also a plus, although it was a negative for some teams last year. I think that I've been able to see personally as a plus, as is giving myself time to reflect on and let that, the Big Ten Championship, the Heisman, and all those other great things sink in a way where, okay, that's cool, boom, now we got the new season. Whereas everyone's 0-0, we got the college football playoff, and the best season you can be a part of. And let's go rise to the occasion and act like, hey, it's not like we have the Rose Bowl and we're trying to protect it from Alabama because we're a higher seed. No. We're both in this race, and we got to go take it. So I think our team really has embraced that taker mentality.
Is there anything you're able to prepare for, or are you just kind of learning that?
I would say I'm learning that on the fly. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I've never, won a conference championship before and never won a Heisman before. So this being the first time, can't give all the glory to God. What a great opportunity. However, I think, the great coaches, teammates, and then great mentors that I have myself have really propelled me to be ready for this moment.
Fernando, when
great on the field, but an excellent teammate. Give me your thoughts on just why that's important to you to have that type of relationship with so many guys on your team.
I think it's really important because I believe our superpower as a team is that we have the glue, and that helps our resiliency and also helped us play through gritty moments. And it's really caring about the guy next to you. If you have one of your best friends lined up next to you, ready to go to war, ready to die for you, then it makes you play a little bit harder. In contrast, if you just have another coworker or someone who you might know, but kind of like an acquaintance, you might not lay your life and body on the line for them. And so I think all of us having this really, really strong and genuine connection helps us play harder for each other, and also helps us communicate more efficiently with each other. We're able to talk to each other in different aspects. And being so close friendship-wise, we all know that, hey, if I get on, if he gets on me or if I get on him, it's not that personal. We're still going to be best friends or really, really good friends. It's just we want to achieve our goal.
So, Fernando, when you arrived in Bloomington, how did you go about reaching out and creating those relationships?
Yeah, I would say when I first got here, they had a really great leadership system, and I wanted to fit in and learn the most that I could and try to elevate it. And so the first thing I did is I made sure that I knew everybody on the team's name to make sure that I cared about them. I studied the roster. Some people might think I was like, a stalker, a little creepy, having all these roster photos. And some of them were a little tough because people got different haircuts. And, some people I didn't think, transferred out, and there's new transfers in. But I would say I tried to really learn everybody's name. And if I didn't get on the first try, I for sure got on the second try. And really show that, hey, I care about you. No matter if you're the star linebacker or you're a walk-on. No matter who you are, I'm going to care about you because I want to help this team win. I want to be a leader of this team. And I believe one of the best leaderships that I've been able to learn is servant leadership. And I'm religious, and Jesus Christ has showed that servantship, and that's something that I look to follow.
So what did you learn about your new teammates as you went about that process?
I learned a lot about my new teammates. I would say just the collection of forces to the common goal, that we all want to win. We're all here for the right reason. And if you're kind of going out astray and here for another reason, that the core group of guys and the majority of the guys are all towards the common goal. So we're either going to leave you or we're going to push you back in the herd. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a big thing about the team is I see how serious they are about everything, and also the belief that everyone has had that, hey, we're going to win a lot of games this year. Although outside noises may be saying, hey, Indiana was a fraud, Cinderella story. But we're going to win a lot of games this season. And I think really having that majority of the team, if not all of the team, really having that belief that we're going to be able to go to the college football playoff and win a lot of games this year was huge for us.
Thank you.
Here at Rose Bowl Media Day, a couple of days away from kicking this thing off, how would you kind of describe the way that the last couple of weeks, and maybe even when you go back, like all the moments of this season have prepared you for this moment against Alabama?
Just, it's crazy to be here in the moment. Just first of all, it's a blessing. Just being in the Rose Bowl. I've been growing up watching the Rose Bowl games, but just speaking from the preparation from this season, we've been in a lot of big games, going on the road to a lot of places, having some big games at home, and then just being able to be in those moments and win those moments. I feel like it's prepared us to be right here in this moment.
The connection you have with Fernando Mendoza feels like it's something that's obviously taken a lot of work and a lot of hours and a lot of preparation, and we see it a lot of times on those back shoulders, right, that you guys are on the same page. I mean, how would you describe that connection that you guys have?
Yeah, just two guys who love football and just want to be great. Even outside of football, we talk a lot, and I feel like that helps you on the field. Like we have a great feel of like when it's those third downs, when it's those big time plays that need to be made. I know he knows I'm gonna be where I need to be, and I know he's definitely gonna put the ball where I need to be. So it's a good trust between each other. We put a lot of work in together in this off season, leading up to these games. So for allowing us to go out there and execute, it's been a great feeling.
Muscle memory to go make big plays in the biggest moments. Thanks a lot.
God,
appreciate you, brother. Yes, sir.